Good afternoon and welcome to our Words of Encouragement here on Friday. Today we're going to be talking about grace. And there's been a way that people think about grace that's kind of troubling, going all the way back to the beginning of the church. And that is that sometimes people think, if Jesus came and died and offered me this grace and forgiveness, then I can do what I want to do. I'll go and sin, and then I'll just come back and ask for forgiveness later. Because the more that I sin, the more that His grace will increase, right? And that's kind of been a mentality that is kind of been in the church even from the beginning. And it can be a really dangerous mentality. And I just want to talk to you about that here. And first, let's talk about Romans chapter 6, where this is addressed by Paul when he's writing to the Romans. He says, "What shall we say then? Shall we go on sinning so that grace may increase? By no means. We are those who have died to sin. How can we live in it any longer?" And so what Paul is saying here is that he can't even grasp the thought process of taking advantage of the grace that Jesus offered. So he goes to the cross, he suffers and dies for us, and taking advantage of that is just it's a crazy thing to think. And in fact, in verse 2, when he says by no means, responding to verse 1, which says shall we go on sinning, he says by no means. And the Greek word here is translated to many different things. Some of the words that it's translated to is heaven forbid, God forbid, by no means, certainly not. But it's this. You can almost feel the passion in Paul saying you should not take advantage of His grace. Now, that's not to say that we're going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but to actively sin, to take advantage of His grace, is something we should never do as Christians. After all, we have a God who loved us enough to die for us. We owe it to Him to seek out the life that He has for us. You guys have a wonderful weekend. See you on